Welcome to You've Been Played Solo, Episode 1. I'm Steven Santana, otherwise known as Number 8 Axel on Twitter. This is basically me doing a solo kind of podcast. It's kind of short form, daily sort of thing. Hope maybe, we'll see how long I can commit to this. But it's basically the output of me not wanting to not do anything, basically. I know with Illustrious Magic it's kind of been dead recently, mostly because of financial situations, and I don't know, it's just been like kind of an off time for us right now. So I just need to do something or else I'll go crazy. So this is what I'm doing. So basically, the most recent thing I've been doing personally is I beat Metal Gear Solid 5 The Phantom Pain's story mode. So basically all the main missions, which aren't the filler ones where they remix old missions and tell you this is extreme level, you can't take as many shots before, or this is a total stealth level where you can't get seen at all. Some of them are really dumb because they kind of repeat really dumb missions. Like there's the one where you're in the airport and it's kind of like you're just thrown into this battle. And it's, you think Metal Gear is a stealth game, but no, it's actually an action game right now, so you have to beat these dumb special enemies, and it's really annoying. So that one I totally skipped, and I don't care about it. But yeah, so I finally beat the story, and it's fine. It's not that great. I feel like Ocelot is really wasted. His character is totally like not used at all in any way that I would have enjoyed. Maybe in Metal Gear Online he'll be cooler, because he does nothing in Metal Gear Solid 5 like at all. Miller's pretty whatever too. He's actually really annoying. They kind of take on a bad cop, good cop dynamic with Ocelot and Miller. It's whatever, I don't know. The twists are pretty cool, like, they're pretty, like, they did kind of mess with my mind, like, oh man, I can't believe Kojima did that and stuff. But other than that, the story's really kind of dumb. Quiet is, like, a really dumb character. The whole justification for, like, what she does and what she wears is, like, it's just bad. Like, it's not good. And the story overall is just whatever. Like, it's not even, like, a good Metal Gear story. At least, I don't, it's hard to talk about it without going to spoilers, basically, so I'll just skip over that. So the new Nintendo 3DS is something that I want for some reason, even though I never play the Nintendo 3DS XL, which I have. Need to go back and finish Persona Q, actually. But for some reason I want the new Nintendo 3DS, and it's like a weird thing where I want things that I know I'm never actually going to touch or use to the full extent that it could be. So it's a weird mental thing, I guess. The Nathan Drake collection, is currently in the hands of critics. Unfortunately, I do not have one, but I will be getting one when it launches next Friday, and it's on a Friday launch, which is kind of weird. Usually games always consistently launch on Tuesdays, but I was looking at the release calendar over on Game Informer. They have a great calendar release that they keep updated pretty much every week. Looks like Assassin's Creed is also going to be launching on a Friday, which is weird. Like, I understand Nintendo games launch on Fridays, but for like Assassin's Creed to launch on a Friday, and also Uncharted the Nathan Drake collection to launch on a Friday, I don't know, it's strange to me. But yeah, other than that, I've been doing some gameplay overviews for recent releases, such as Afro Samurai 2, not good, and what was the other one? Oh crap, oh, Mega Man, the Legacy Collection. So those two reviews are finished. They should be going up on Dualshockers soon. I'll probably have to bug one of the editors to look at them. And then I also have to finish my Bedlam review, which is a PC game, so I still really haven't tested out if my laptop running OBS and Bedlam at the same time can handle it. I tried that with Heroes of the Storm. Didn't work out well. The videos was very low quality, so hopefully I'll be able to get that fixed. P.S. I Love You is a new podcast from Colin and Greg focusing on PlayStation. If you don't know, Colin and Greg are former IGN people who now work at Kinda Funny and made their own business. They were very famous for being on Podcast Beyond, which was one of my favorite podcasts, and it's now kind of, it's different. It's definitely not the same, which it's not supposed to, but it's not exactly my thing anymore. But even what Colin and Greg are doing right now isn't really my thing, so I've kind of gravitated towards other podcasts, such as the Giant Bombcast or Rebel FM, which I've always loved before anyway. But yeah, so I've kind of been going towards more of those. But I'm interested to see how much of Podcast Beyond goes into this P.S. I Love You thing. Like, I really missed the Rope Report, and kind of like the very set scheduled list that they had to go through every episode on Podcast Beyond. And of course, I'm sure they'll get off topic, which is something that I always love. But yeah, so it'll be interesting to see what happens with that. And then I thought I'd go through just the trending stuff on Twitter, since I'm basically trying to look more into things that are going on, trying to, I guess, expand knowledge of what is actually happening. I've been doing it more with politics specifically because of the election, and I feel like I should be much more in tune with what's going on as far as, current politics go, because it's important, because it shapes the future, and I feel like apathy is something that's really bad when it comes to stuff like that. Like the last presidential election, I was very apathetic towards everything and didn't vote at all. But I feel like this time I want to be more active and stuff, but I also want to learn more about the world itself, because knowledge is power and all that type of stuff. But yeah, so I looked at Twitter to see what was going on. But the number one thing was Twitch have TwitchCon that went on this past weekend, and they had a panel where some female esports people were talking about getting female esports, and maybe if they'll have their own like gender gender exclusive for females and those who identify as females tournament, and also it naturally progressed to how terrible Twitch can be sometimes in the comments with just having these terrible, horrible people, which it does extend to the entire internet. But specifically, they were talking about the Twitch chat and how it can be very, very much full of harassment and abusive language, and so they were kind of trying to find out and discuss amongst themselves like how they can counter that, basically. But like there's no right answer right now. They kind of mentioned an example of like trickle down politics almost with hey, maybe if the top streamers show that this is unacceptable, maybe then it'll the ethics will trickle down, basically. I'm not quite sure if that would work really. I feel like people who are set in their ways are pretty set in their ways. It's kind of like the ideal I've always had is there's no point in getting in an argument with someone on the internet, because nobody's ever been I don't know. I'm very pessimistic when it comes to nobody will ever be convinced of anything through an argument on the comments on a YouTube video or something. So you might as well just leave them be. It's just not worth the effort. And then Tony Wolf talked a bit about killing Jason Todd in the comics, not comments. But basically, it was like a comic that he wrote about the comic behind the scenes sort of stuff. It was interesting. It was too long, though. I didn't really read it that much, but the basics of it was, comics don't really actually kill characters anymore, and that's pretty much something you're just going to have to deal with if you don't like it. So I haven't been big into comics forever, but I've always known that anyway. EGX is a convention happening right now in the United Kingdom. Shuhei Yoshida got to do a kind of like a live Q&A. It was mostly with Eurogamer guy, editor there. He was pretty cool. He did really good at hosting it with Shu. And Shu just kind of talked about like the behind the scenes of pretty much every console except for the Vita. He did mention a bit in the Vita that a lot of news reports have picked up on, which is that he kind of said the climate right now is not good for a Vita successor, because the Vita hasn't exactly been doing well, and Sony hasn't exactly been supporting it anyway, so not that surprising. But yeah, he kind of talked about how because of mobile phones and stuff, and Nintendo even, he didn't really mention this specifically, but obviously with Nintendo getting into a mobile partnership, dedicated handhelds potentially could be on the down, even though the new Nintendo 3DS and the Nintendo 3DS family itself has, been pretty successful. But is it due to all of the hardware iterations, or is it due to the handheld itself being great? I don't know. I don't think Nintendo would ever actually give out specific numbers for that type of thing. The Pope is in Philadelphia. I mean, that's cool. He talked to the Senate, I believe it was Friday morning or Thursday morning. Maybe it was Friday morning, I forget, but I was listening to it on the way to work one day they had it on NPR. They were rebroadcasting it, basically. And it was very interesting. It's pretty cool to see that he's, coming out here. He's the first Pope from, like, South Americas. So that's pretty cool that, they're kind of diversifying. And I was reading a New Yorker article about him as well. And it's all very interesting, the whole, like, politics around it. And the influence he wields is obviously very large. So it was cool to see him kind of stand up for certain things and in the Congress speech that he gave. And then John Boehner, or Boehner, or however you pronounce his name, pretty much announced he was resigning the next day, although that was probably something unrelated to the Pope actually coming. But yeah, there's a H1Z1 International apparently happening. I don't know what that is. I don't think H1Z1 is that like out? Is that like officially out, or is that still on like early access, like beta alpha stage? I'm pretty sure it's not officially out, so I don't know. I think that game is not going to do well when it comes back. Speaking of which, Doctor Who is back. Apparently, new season's coming out. I think it was the first 2 episodes are out already. I'm like tentatively kind of want to get back into that. I fell out of Doctor Who so hard, just like so annoyed with it. It's just, I feel like it just pulls stuff out of its butt like all the time with just like, oh, well, this is the solution to this problem, and we're never gonna come back to this again. And it's just like, I don't know. I never really liked it, but with Capaldi being a older kind of guy, and there not being like a stupid freaking romance thing between him and the companion and stuff like there always was. I don't know. I feel like it would be better. So, but I don't know. We'll see. Apparently, the Mets made it to postseason. I don't care about sports, so whatever. There's new 3DS plates. Some are more expensive due to the branding. Obviously, I think the Legend of Zelda one is the most expensive, and then the Pikachu one is the next most expensive. And by expensive, I mean like $17, which still kind of is a lot for a piece of plastic you just put over another piece of plastic. It's kind of like a weird thing, but there's only about 6 faceplates right now, I think, available, or there's like 6 new ones, and there are like some very standard ones previously available on the Nintendo Online Store, because the new Nintendo 3DS, not to be confused with the new Nintendo 3DS XL or the Nintendo 3DS, released yesterday, actually, on September 25th for North America. So that was the first time it's been available here. They only had the 3DS XL previously, which launched in February of last year. Not last year, sorry. February of this year, they launched the new Nintendo 3DS XL, and it came with Xenoblade Chronicles, and there hasn't really been anything exclusive to that handheld since. I know the 3D in Hyrule Warriors Legends for the 3DS. The 3D is only going to be available on the new Nintendo 3DS because of the hardware differences, and it's basically a Wii U game that they're putting on the 3DS, which is pretty crazy to me. Also looking forward to the Mega Man Legacy Collection on 3DS. Mark Wahlberg is emceeing the Family of Festivals, which is kind of strange, but apparently he's like a super big Catholic. Like reports, like he goes to church 2 times on Sundays or something. I don't know. It's weird, but apparently the Pope is also at that same thing, so it's kind of funny to think of Mark Wahlberg, the dude from Transformers 4, is also going to be talking to the Pope, who is the leader of the one of the largest religions in the entire world. So it's just a funny thing to think of. But yeah, other than that, the last thing is the India Prime Minister, whose name is Narendra Modi. I hope I did pronounce that right. Met with Apple CEO Tim Cook as well as Tesla's guy Elon Musk. They basically had like a meeting sort of thing, not at the same time, separately. But yeah, apparently the India PM is in Silicon Valley, San Francisco right now, kind of just walking around, probably talking to tech people, looking for investors to build jobs probably or something in India. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, so that's it for the first basically You've Been Played Solo episode 1. Hope you liked it. You can check out all the other videos we do. Hopefully we'll have more stuff in the future. I'm not quite sure, but you can always follow me at number 8 Axel. Go to dualshockers.com because that's where I do a lot of the new stuff on the weekend, and hopefully all my reviews will be going up soon. We got a big holiday coming out this fall. There's a lot of stuff coming. Fallout 4 is like 6-8 weeks away, and yeah, that's the next big game. So, but yeah, I hope you're looking forward to it too, and thanks for watching.